Thank you for tuning in to Power of Purpose Radio, where we inspire, encourage, and impact the lives of women, men, and children in Baltimore and throughout the world. I just want to say to you, happy Tuesday. I hope that you had a blessed day. And if you are an artist, an author, a business owner, and you're looking to get your product out to the masses, please feel free to contact me, Latoya Ladelle, here at Power Purpose Radio. And then also, if you have a story that you feel that will encourage or ignite other people, just make sure you get in contact with me at Power Purpose Radio. My name is Latoya Ladelle. So, I guess let's get this segment started. We have a beautiful woman here at Power Purpose Radio, and she is just going to share a phenomenal story with the listeners. And we do believe that tonight you will be inspired, you will be encouraged, as a result of her story. So, I guess start off by telling them your name and just tell them a little bit about yourself.
My name is Miriam Whitehead Bryce, and I'm a spokesmodel for the state of Maryland for an HIV campaign called HIV Stops With Me.
Okay, awesome. So, Miriam, tonight's topic is life after diagnosis.
Yes.
And actually, Miriam was the person that came up with this topic, and I thought that this topic was so befitting because, when you think about HIV, you automatically think, oh my goodness, life is over. And to see Miriam, to hear her story, and to see that she's thriving and she's still living and she's active and she's empowering people, it's just phenomenal. So we wanted to share her journey with the listeners. So let's start off at the beginning of your journey. So what year did you find out that you had HIV?
It was in 2000, the year 2000, and I had a sinus infection that lasted, too long. So I went to an ENT doctor, and he said, he was looking up my nose, and he said, I see these sinus problems in people that are HIV positive. And I was, what? He said, have you ever been tested? And I said, no. He said, you need to go take a test. So, I was scared. So I went down and I took the test. I gave them a different name because, I didn't want to.
Exactly.
Right, I didn't want anyone to know because I really didn't understand what was going, about the disease. And I took the test. I immediately called my husband. He was getting ready to go to work, so I called him before he left for work. And he came down, and I told him, and he got tested also. And he said, I vow, say in sickness and in health, I love you, and I'm going to keep you here as long as I can. So we had gotten married in June of 97.
So in 1997, you were married. You found out that you had HIV in 2000.
Yes.
So 3 years after your marriage. And when your husband found out,
that's what he said.
He said, I'm going to stick it out.
Yep.
Amen.
Yeah,
Amen.
and you know what? He's still negative.
He's still negative.
He's still negative.
Wow.
And it'll be 20 years next year.
20 years. Oh my God. That's phenomenal. So going back to that point where, okay, you're at the doctor's office, you have a sinus infection. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm just going to recant it. So you have a sinus infection and you had it for too long.
Yes.
Okay, and then the doctor, he evaluated it and he said that it was the signs of someone who had HIV.
Yes.
Okay. How did you feel at that moment?
My heart, I had to go get it somewhere out in the parking lot. It just dropped, and my face dropped, because I'm always. And then when he said that, I was like, what?
Was this like the last thing, like?
It was like the last thing I was thinking. I'm just going to get my sinuses checked. Mm-hmm. He says, you have a deviated septum, and then he came with that news. I was like, oh my goodness. And I kept thinking about my children. I kept thinking about my family. I went through a whole lot of doubt, and craziness and thoughts. I guess a normal person would.
Yes.
So, I was devastated. So, I was going to a place, someone told me about a place called Park West.
Okay.
And I went there and I poured my heart out And there was this woman there named Luana.
Okay.
And she came to me. She said, "Girl, pick yourself up. You got $300." I was like, "Yes." She said, "Come on with me and take this course." So I took a course through the Red Cross to be an HIV teacher and instructor. So that was teaching me about what was going on with me,
Yes.
and also, equipping me to
Help others.
yes, help others. But I really wasn't ready to come out, of the HIV closet. But it just came out. And I had a book signing in 2012, and whoever didn't know, I just announced it right there.
You
My
just let
first
them
book.
know.
So
Now-
if you didn't know, and I named everything that I deal with.
Okay. Now let me ask you this question, because I know a lot of people, like you said, they may not want to come out because then people may act funny. Did you have to deal with people like acting funny, or
Yeah.
was that a part of your journey?
Well, that's one of the problems with people getting tested, and stigma.
Uh-huh.
Even when I went to get my blood work done, the woman, I had long sleeves, and the woman looked at my paperwork, and all of a sudden she's slamming paper down and all that kind of stuff, and I'm trying to figure out what's going on with her.
Uh-huh.
So in my mind, I'm thinking, well, I guess she assumes that I got HIV intravenously.
From like
Right,
a needle
from
or
needles,
something.
yes.
Uh-huh.
And so I pulled my sleeves up, like, in my mind, I was like, my veins are gorgeous. And she sat there, and I was quiet, because sometimes it's okay to be quiet when someone comes at you with some crazy stuff. And I said, you know what? I became HIV positive from unprotected sex. And she sat back and she said, you know what? Thank you. I really need to hear that.
Wow.
Right, and I wanted to say, go get tested. But,
Yeah, but she said she really needs to hear that because,
Yeah.
like you said, stigmatism. Stigmas. A lot of people, not stigmatism, but stigmas.
Yes.
A lot of people, when they associate the disease, at first, at one point, they were saying it was for homosexuals, then for people that's on drugs, but people who are having anybody who's having
Yes.
unprotected sex.
Yes, it affects everyone. And I went back to a doctor because I had shingles. I had gotten shingles right here, right on this side of my face. And it was the most painful thing in the world. And that's a reason for you to go get an HIV test. And some
Okay.
people don't know that.
Okay.
So I asked the doctor, why didn't you test me? And his response was, you didn't look like anything was wrong with you.
Wow. Okay. And you know what? That's what I think a lot of people have in their mind, that if a person have HIV, then they're frail or skinny, or they look sick, or you can detect it.
Yes.
Can you tell us like some of the myths and
Well, you know what? As powerful as that movie Philadelphia was, it just kind of stuck to people, the visual
yes.
of HIV,
Yes.
But those things can happen, wasting, you start losing weight.
And the lesions.
And the lesions on your face, that can happen. But my perception wasn't that. My first thought was, I don't want my kids to know right now. And then when I was going through that, it was, are they HIV positive? Because they said I have had it for a while,
Okay.
about 5 years. And I'm thinking, my kids are grown, but still, you start getting paranoid about everything.
Yes.
And even my husband, he went, took out time and learned about it also.
Okay.
But people, some people were shunning me, and it just made me more determined. I was like, you know what? After when my kids saw the Valtrex, in there for the shingles virus, they said, Mommy, do you have herpes? And I said, no. Yes, you do. We see the medicine in the cabinet. I said, no, I don't. But, I went ahead and told them that I was HIV positive, and my daughter, she said, that's all? You were made for this. I was like, wow.
Your daughter? See, she must have saw
Yeah, her
strength,
words really,
like-
she was like, Ma, you were made for this. I said, oh, okay. And so I was like, you know what? The Lord shared something with me. He said, whatever you go through in life doesn't upset the purpose that I have put you here for.
Go ahead now. You
So
talking
I
my...
was like, oh my goodness. Okay. So he said, yeah, I don't care what you, he said, it's not that whether I heal you from HIV, it's just that I'm going to show people what you can do
Yes.
with this thorn in your side.
Oh my goodness. Yes, yes, yes. So can you you have this poem that you can you recite that poem? This poem is like awesome and you gotta hear it.
Looking past the dark and seeing the light. And just now I'm realizing it won't always be night. A spark within me has created sight. And just now I'm realizing it won't always be night. The tongues are evidence of his presence being brought forth. I'm no longer facing south. My face has adjusted to north. And in compliance with his plan, I'm no longer left. I've gone right. And just now I'm realizing it won't always be night. My sheep hear my voice, I hear him say. And don't follow the fence, walk this way. I pray, increase my faith as your plan endures, because the battle's not mine, it's yours. The constant word is an overwhelming process, and as a lost lamb heard, I'm led back to the path of righteousness. As the blind are made to see, at first blurred sight, I realize just now that it won't always be night. When the light takes over and my flesh succumbs to the fight, I realize just now that my flesh was the night. You know, at times our worst enemy is that person in the mirror.
Yes. Awesome poem. Awesome. She shared it with me, and I was like, I mean, it just resonated something in my spirit. I want to go back to something that you said about your purpose. You mentioned the purpose that this situation does not take away your purpose.
Right.
Can you
well,
go into it?
When I was sitting there, because you know sometimes we start wallowing in our
yes.
own mess, and I was having a pity party. Nobody showed up, so I got on up off my feet.
Is that nobody showed up?
Nobody showed up. So I said, okay, let me just go and get up and and do what I'm supposed to do. And you know what? A lot of things cleared up in my mind when I got on the path. Because sometimes when we're not on the correct path, we're leaving ourselves open to some crazy things. So, I was depressed. I was happy one minute, sad the next. I was heavily medicated. I slit my wrist. I was just going through some things, and then I was like, I can do this. Jesus says I can do this. And the whole time he's telling me, but we don't want to hear.
We don't want to hear, yeah.
I want to hear, right. Heal me. Heal me now.
Yes.
I'm believing that you can heal me now. He said, all right.
Wow.
No, you're going to just do what I told you to do and just go ahead, and by faith. And so I said, okay, let's walk by faith, not by sight. Because, what you see, I'm like, I can't, because some meetings, I started going to meetings.
Okay.
And some people did look like, have that appearance. And sometimes it would disturb me. But I just, like I said, I got up out of myself, because that's what it is. Because sometimes we don't even realize that your deliverance is not just for you.
Yes.
Someone else is watching. And because I'm free, my deliverance is in my circumstance. But the other person's deliverance comes through them seeing me being delivered. And me being and walking in freedom.
Yes.
Because there is life after diagnosis. No matter what the doctor says, still, go ahead and do what you got to do. I was praying one day and it felt like my throat was being closed up. And I was like, if I need to sign, I will, because I'm not going to let anything deter me.
Yes.
And the other things that I deal with, lupus, that's in remission, thank God. I have 6 screws and rods in my lower back. I have 4 screws and 2 latches in my upper neck. I just got this repaired, a torn rotator cuff, the 27th of June. Let me see. OCD, HPV, ABCDEFG. It just seems like I have a whole bunch of things going on.
And you said none of it is going to stop you
Nope.
from fulfilling your assignment.
I am determined. My mind is made up. You couldn't shut me up if you could. Let me shut the mic down. I'm gonna still go
and
on.
you're like so active. You know, and I'm so happy about that. You know, to see like you're like a walking testimony because we have choices. We have choices
Yes.
whether we can wallow in it and dry up and die, or we can just keep on pushing. And I see you pushing, and you've accomplished so much, and you're encouraging so many people. And tell us about this right here.
Well, I'm a part of an organization called Oh Well, and it's Older Women Embracing Life. And this woman, she said, you know, when anyone has time, you know, give this guy a call. He wants to interview you. And I was like, okay. So I went to the interview. It was Better World Advertising, and they asked about my story, and I told them. And the next thing I know, I was on my way to New York for a photo shoot
Wow.
and for the HIV Stops With Me campaign. So
And then and this is this right here,
it was put on buses and billboards throughout Maryland.
buses and billboards.
Can you
all
imagine
around.
signing an HIV poster? Someone wanting my autograph with the HIV poster. I'm like, really? You want my autograph on the HIV
This is beautiful. This
poster?
is like a
And I'm
beautiful
okay.
picture.
Some of the bus drivers even wanted my my autograph on
Yeah.
the you know the little cards that I had given you.
Exactly. I mean, because this is an inspiration. You know, this is an inspiration saying it's not over. You still is life after diagnosis.
And some people were texting me, I didn't know. So it was like, I'm coming out. I guess, you know, when the billboard was all over the place, someone called me and said, I just saw you on the bus, you know. And, you know, my daughter, she was trying to hurry up to the bus so she could videotape it. I told my husband, and we almost had an accident. It was coming down Loch Raven. I apologize for that. The bus was coming down Loch Raven. And I said, there I am, honey. He said, oh, I said, we're trying to drive. You know, so, I mean, it just felt strange. But, you know, it felt like, okay, so I don't have to say much. There's my testimony right there.
And so you do other things. Like I have a host of other things, and I just want to share it with our listeners, our viewers. What is this right here?
That's my third book called Clear Ramblings of Praise.
Oh, nice.
And I went through word art and just strategically put all those words together. It took me a while. My husband woke up. He said, you still up? Yes, dear, I'm sorry. I'm just doing the Lord's work.
What do these words symbolize to you? Because I see some awesome words here. I mean,
well, the name Clear because all the words are clear.
Okay.
And ramblings because they're not in any specific order.
Okay.
And they're all words of praise.
Amen. Awesome. So this book, where could our listeners get this book?
Well, and I'm in the process of getting orders for them, so you can order it on www.miriamllc.com, or you can give me an email at system.mwb@gmail.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're very
Okay, then we have
welcome.
some other stuff here. We have Gifted Word.
That was my first book.
First book, okay.
Mhm.
Nice.
That's when I was telling everybody, I deal with all these things, but you know what? For I reckon to the sufferings of this present time, and I went in with that.
Awesome. And they can get this book at the website
Yes.
as well, okay? And then, I'm going to keep on going. So you can see that she is definitely answering. She's like fulfilling her assignment. She's like, nothing is going to keep me.
I stay busy.
Yes. Rhythm of Unheard Voices.
That deals with domestic violence. I was also a woman that had to deal with domestic violence. I can remember being locked in a closet until I promised to wear clothes that were dirty so no one would look at me. But that was about the time where, you know, all of a sudden, I don't know what made me try crack. Then I was down to 97 pounds.
Okay.
Messing with crack. They took my children, and I'm not shunning the rehabilitation process, but that was enough to make me stop. And that's what I did. I stopped because I believed that God would take it away, and he did. And because I wouldn't go through the rehabilitation process, I wasn't allowed to be with my children.
Okay.
Because they wanted me, you know, to follow the rules and regulations. I'm standing there saying, I've
How
been
did you
delivered.
how did you get them back?
I went to court. When I met my husband, I
Okay.
was getting them back.
Oh, awesome.
Mhm.
Awesome.
I met him at McDonald's in the drive-thru. I was working
Okay,
at
so
McDonald's.
let's go through this. So getting back, so you were on crack, right?
Yes.
How did you get on there? Like,
You
was
know-
it somebody that? Because I always tell my kids, if somebody say you're a punk, just say no. But
Well,
realistically, how did it happen?
And I did it such a late age. It was
Uh-huh.
like, you know what? I haven't tried that.
Okay, so you were just curious.
Yes.
Okay, curious.
Yes,
Okay.
I was curious in 1990, what, 2.
Okay.
Curious. I started to get curious. So, and that's what happened. I neglected taking care of my children and myself. I didn't even realize I was 97 pounds, because you can look in the mirror sometimes and that reflection, if your mind is on something else, you don't even see what's in the mirror.
Yeah. And you know what? And not to get personal, but I know some friends of mine, they have loved ones who are going through certain things. And sometimes it's like they don't see, like I'm looking at them and they don't see that they're 75 pounds and like, so what was your turning point? Like what got you?
Them and actually just seeing my kids go away. And I was like, that's my life. I live for them. And that was enough just to make me stop.
Okay.
And that's what I did. I stopped.
Amen.
I really just stopped.
And then you met your Boaz at McDonald's?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
When I was getting...
she didn't say Ruth Chris. She said McDonald's. Go ahead. That's
when I was
lovely.
getting myself together, I got a job at McDonald's at Northwood. And my girlfriend, she said, my ex-husband's here with a friend of his. She said, they're coming through the drive-thru, and I'm busy in the drive-thru. And I poked my head out the window, like, what? What do you want? And he looked at me, he said, nothing. And then he drove off. I was like, get out my drive-thru. I'm like, get out my drive-thru. I'm trying to get things done. And he backed up and gave me his number. And it went from there.
Wow. And then that led you to, I guess, dating, courting, and then you were getting married, and then as a result of that, you were able to get your kids back.
Yes. I got my kids back while I was at McDonald's. And then it was kind of demeaning because I knew how to get a job. I knew how to go through the workplace. But, I had to take these social service courses and learn, and they were trying to teach me how to dress for success. And I had been through that already, so that was hard.
Okay.
That was hard to go through because I've done that already. I know how to do this.
Okay.
I, decided to do something strange and, this is the consequences. So, I went on ahead and, did what they asked. But because I couldn't be around my kids, I ended up in Salisbury, Maryland with this perfect nut.
Why you say perfect nut?
Because, he took the phone so I couldn't call my children. He would tell me to get dressed because we're going to visit your kids today. And we would get there at that bridge, and he would pull out his fishing pole. And he kept fooling me because I kept saying, like Charlie Brown, I'm, going to hit the ball one day. And he would never take me. Finally, my mother just came, and visited. But, a lot of times he told me, he said, I'd bury you out in the backyard and nobody would know.
So this was like a crazy person that you were dealing with.
Yes, but it wasn't crazy when I, met him.
Okay.
We don't.
I just want to make sure you guys understand this is not the Boaz.
Right. This is not
nut.
the Boaz. This is. We're on radio. I'm saying something else. This was no.
Okay. Yeah. So this was like somebody else.
Right.
Who
The
was
Boaz was later.
The person that was not for her. Okay. So you were in a abusive relationship.
Yes.
Was it just physically or both?
It was
mentally?
physically. It was mentally.
Emotionally.
It was emotionally.
Wow.
I came home one day and he had shot a hole through my television, took a bat to my stereo, burned my clothes. And you know what? The crazy thing about that was after I left him, I came back.
Okay, hold on for a minute. So you left.
I left and I came back because I needed some money to get my hair done. And I said, can I have some money to get my hair done? He said, sure. So I'm calling myself, to show him I got my hair done, in good faith. And he just went completely berserk. He started hitting me every time. He would say, get out. And I would get to the door and he would snatch me and throw me back. This went on for about 5 or 6 times. And when he finally really let me go, I walked outside and I looked right there and the police were sitting right there. And I said, nope, I'm not going to even do it. And it was probably wrong. I should, but there's so many women that's unfairly judged from domestic violence, from killing their abusers. There's a lot of them in jail that, I killed him first before he killed me. And, that's what I thought.
Okay.
That if I did something to him, no one would hear my story.
No one will hear your story.
Right. So you think about, what I did was I just left him.
So you finally mustered up enough.
I just walked away, broke. I didn't even care. I said, I'm done. It was a leap of faith. I walked out in that water, and I didn't sink.
And then that's how you came up with a testimony, Rhythms of Unheard Voices.
And you know what? When I wrote that, the Lord had me come from different points of view because, there's domestic violence that people deal with in church, because I did go to church, and I told them what was happening. They sent me home with a prayer.
Okay.
Right. And my thing, so I can tell you, you can't pray for them one week and bury them the next. And that saying, what happens at home stays at home.
Yeah,
we need to rethink some of these things that we instill.
So do you find, like, in your walk and in your journey, have you found yourself being able to touch women who are involved in domestic violent relationships? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, you have been. Okay.
Yeah,
Awesome. That's
I sit
awesome.
there and tell them, get up. You can leave. But there's also, you don't want to just go over there and say, come on, you can leave that guy, because people are killing people.
Yes.
So you have to have a plan. And it has to be strategic, because you don't want to get killed in the process.
Exactly.
And you don't want that person to be hurt anymore in the process. So I really, challenge you to just, know what you're doing, have an escape plan, and, think things over and get some help. Call the House of Ruth and, ask, how can you leave safely?
Okay. And so for those women who heard this, she said, call the House of Ruth. I know I've done some pro bono work at the House of Ruth. A great resource. So I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
So you have this book. They can buy this book on your website as
Yes.
well.
Yes.
Okay. And if you want to reach out to Miriam, where can they reach out to you? Like, you're dealing with domestic violence and then life after diagnosis. How can they reach out to you if they have any questions?
Well, you can go to the website and or email me, and I'll definitely be there to, answer any questions, because sometimes people don't want to, be that one to say something.
Exactly.
And I really do stay in my lane. I'm not a therapist. I can just tell you how God delivered me.
Okay.
I really can't. I don't give,
Exactly.
their, advice, because that's not my lane.
Exactly.
And so what I do sometimes, my mother's a therapist. I'm like, here, Mom, here's a number.
Exactly.
And give them the number.
Yeah,
so.
because sometimes when I get emails here, and say, for instance, I've had quite a few where the people were actually contemplating suicide.
Yes.
We have a licensed therapist, and
See,
I refer them to the therapist. But if it's just like a regular female, and she's like, I'm having some issues and blah blah blah,
Yeah.
and I think I can like encourage her, I'll do that.
Yeah, that's what I say. Lord, give me something to say, that's going to encourage this heart, and turn her mindset around. So.
Exactly. And then also STEM. What is STEM?
System?
Yeah, that's what it is. System. I'm sorry,
That's
system.
okay. Share your story to empower many, and that's what I do. I go to colleges. I've been to Coppin. I go to churches. I've worked in different places. I found myself in high schools talking to the children. The children, bless their hearts. Parents don't think that they need to talk to their kids in elementary school. They're thinking, maybe we should wait till middle school to do this conversation. A third grader came to me and told me that love means legs open very easy. So
A third grader?
a third grader.
Okay.
So I learned more about sexual games from the elementary students than the college students, because when I told the college students what they told me, they were like, well, we didn't even know about that game.
Oh, wow.
Right. So, so it's just so many things that, and it's.
Is that here? Is
stop
that
giving
right
those-
now?
Yes.
That's like in this time. Right
Yes,
here. Okay,
yes.
Okay.
And, and the Baltimore-Towson area is very, very high on the chart for being the top 3 places as far as HIV in the United States. I want to say
Wow.
50 states, but
You
I
said
know
the
there's
United
more.
States. Wow.
Yes,
Okay.
and they said statistics show that it's about 6 to 8,000 people walking around, and they haven't been tested.
Wow.
And you know who's being affected the most? Women.
Women.
Yes, our African American women.
African-American women.
And you know what? No one's saying, Grandma, are you wearing condoms? Are you, and everyone's saying, not my grandmother. My grandmother's baking pies. Oh, she baking. But I'm saying,
I get it. I
you know,
get it. Like, it's like real talk.
some
Real
women,
talk.
some women go through their whole lives, they're fine, and then you test positive for HIV at 59. So I mean, this is just something to think about.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Definitely.
I tell I have an 11-year-old granddaughter and a 6-year-old granddaughter, and I let them know what's going on. That's not a treasure box. This isn't a hot dog. It's just say the names, what they are. Stop candy coating things.
Exactly, because it's serious.
It is really
It's
serious.
serious business.
It's serious business. It's so many diseases that are out there affecting children, and they're thinking that anal sex means having anal sex means I'm still a virgin. Some people don't know that you have to wear they even have condoms just to fit over your finger. So if you have a cut on your finger and you're playing with someone, I don't want to get really graphic, but and you won't infect that person, or that person won't infect you. So there are things out there to protect you. But first of all, why are you doing that? But you just want to change your mindset. I can't talk to people about HIV unless I talk to you about behavior.
Exactly.
And that's what you have to do. You just to change your behavior. And speaking of domestic violence, some people are in a place where don't use a condom. They won't let their the man doesn't want the woman to use a condom. Not to say that women aren't abusive also, because women can be abusive also.
Okay.
So I'm just saying, there's different methods to catch this disease. If a woman is HIV positive, you shouldn't breastfeed.
Okay.
But you can have a productive life. You can go out there and shoot for the moon. You can have a relationship. You can have that job. You can write that book. You can write that play. I wrote a play. It debuted January 8th and 9th. I wrote the music and everything. It was called Schizophrase. It was, I really love doing that. But sometimes I ramble on. But you can have that productive life. There is life after any diagnosis. I know because I have a lot of them. I just got a completely new right knee.
Okay.
So,
I know I saw it on your Facebook page. I know I saw like staples
on my shoulder.
Yeah, it was like I saw these staples in your shoulder.
That was since it was just June. I said another testimony. So just
but it's just so great how you're positive. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people, and God is working with me with that because for some reason sometimes you think if you have no obstacles, then I'm living the life. But in life, you're going to have some obstacles, but it's like, how are you going to respond to those obstacles? Are you going to let it beset you from, fulfilling your purpose? Or are you going to say, okay, fine, that happened, I'm going to keep on pushing. Okay, that happened, I'm going to keep on pushing. So I'm glad that you have that outlook that I'm going to keep on pushing.
I have to, because someone out there, needs to know that you can make it.
And look at all, from what you have gone through, look at all the resources that you've provided to other people, through your testimony, through your journey. Also, let's go through this one right here. You have this. What is this?
It's a journal. It's called Divine Essential Words, The Do. And I just tell you, you can write in it. It asks questions about day-to-day living, and I'm trying to, improve on your relationship with Christ, and just have a better outlook on life. Some people wake up and the glass is always half empty. They just wake up.
And some people don't even have any reason for them to even think, it's nothing really going on.
But you know what? And I was telling my daughter, I said, you know what? While you were asleep last night, there was a war going on above your head. And it was victory when you put your feet on the floor. Because I go through, sometimes I can't even move.
Okay.
And I'll swing my feet around in pain. And I said, Lord, you woke me up, so I'm going to get up in purpose. And
You said I'm going to get up in purpose.
yeah, sometimes
woo.
it's a fight. Sometimes it's a struggle. But like I said, what you're going through now doesn't make your purpose any more or less,
Exactly.
Go ahead and, and do what I called you to do. You know what else encourages me? I think about when Jesus was getting whipped on his back, and every whip he yelled out, Miriam. Whew, this is for Latoya. Whew, this is for Michael. I mean, he was there back then, doing this for us right now.
Yes.
So who am I?
Yes.
I got to carry a cross too. Life is not going to be all, because that's not, he even said you're going to go through some trials.
Yes.
But you go through, they come to pass. And nowhere it says that they're going to come to stay.
Exactly.
So they come to pass.
Awesome. What is this right here?
This is called Lighthouse Exhortations, and it's like mini messages.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
yeah.
So, I mean, she has so much. And then also, let's look at this right here. You have workshops.
Oh, yes, I have. Yeah, I do
ministries.
workshops. I have a Ruth workshop. I have a teens workshop. I have a Boaz workshop. I didn't know. I said, Lord, I don't know when you're going to provide me the arena to do a men's workshop, but if that's what you told me to write, then that's what I do. And I actually sit there, and my daughter, she says, God sits there and talks to you and you write it down. I said, yeah.
Amen.
And I've written some poems, and I just started crying because, he's not very pleased with the United States and what we're such a powerful company. I mean, country, and we have so much potential, and it's being lost, by
It's a lot
foolishness.
Yes, that's what I was going to say, buffoonery and foolishness.
And you know what? But you know what? And you can't focus on those things.
Amen.
Because those are distractions.
Amen. Awesome. So do you have anything else that you would like to share with our audience before we wrap this segment up?
Yes, I want to tell you, whatever you're going through, you can live. There is life after lupus, life after diabetes. There is life after any type of surgery. You can make it, because I did.
Amen.
I am.
Amen. I just want to give you a hug. Thank you so much for imparting and sharing your testimony. And tell us again what system mean.
Share your story to empower many. Don't take it. I got it downtown, so don't try to take it.
She has a copyrighted trademark. So, but yeah, share your story to empower many. Yes, and I'm just so happy about that you didn't take your story and put it, underneath of a rug somewhere.
And hide it.
Yes, and you say, okay, you know what? I'm going to come out and I'm going to tell my story, and in the midst of it, I'm going to impact lives.
Well, if they said I'm positive physically, might as well have a positive outlook.
That's what I'm talking about right there. Awesome. So everybody, just be encouraged. Today is Tuesday. Have a wonderful week. And again, where can they reach out to you at?
At system, system.mwb@gmail.com, or you can go to my website at www.miriamllc.com. And please live.
Yes. And this is the close of our segment of Power Purpose Radio. I am Latoya Ladelle, your host. And once again, there is life after diagnosis. Be blessed, and we love you so much. Bye-bye.